Hi, welcome to day 26 of 30 days of AI in testing challenge. And my today's challenge was to study and investigate about the carbon footprint of AI. So now there has been a lot of discussions around AI, but today's task actually opened me about some dark and hidden realities which I had heard in bits and pieces, but I was not fully aware of. So I want to specially thank Minister of Testing for bringing out such a day where participants could learn about the other side, the dark side, which nobody talks about. So this video will talk specifically about that and will help people and others get educated about the cost of carbon emissions, the cost that the environment has to pay for AI to succeed. So let's start. I did consider multiple articles from MIT, Forbes, and so on. And I did this all this work for this day 26 of 30 days of AI in testing challenge. These are the references that I used, which is MIT Tech Review, True Carbon Footprint of AI, and by Forbes on Green Intelligence. So I want to start with talking about some dark sides, the dark reality of AI. So first thing is that AI needs vast energy to train and run itself on. So AI works on a huge amount of energy and resources. Now, when we say energy needed for AI, so it's actually like a energy needed for doing these four things. So first is energy needed for training models, energy for producing hardware, energy to maintain the infrastructure. So what do I mean by producing hardware? So like to run these large language models for these computations, you need specific devices, these graphic devices, GPU processors, and so on. And they all depend on batteries and silicon and so on, and all that requires energy to extract out, to put in the industries and so on. Then to maintain the infrastructure, you will need air conditioners, you will need systems, power backups, and a whole set of infrastructural needs and energy to maintain that. And then regular energies to run the model. So whenever you are querying a model, you are running it and it is doing some computation, so energy associated with that. So 1 month usage of a typical AI model that was used for study, the consumption of CO2 carbon emission that it did was equivalent to 60 flights. So I mean the carbon emitted from like 60 flight journeys, that was equivalent to that 1 month model. So that is catastrophic. I mean exponentially high amount of carbon usage. And then another problem is that there is no standard way to calculate these CO2 emissions, because the emissions are happening from so much diverse areas and aspects, and some hardware is efficient, some is not. There are many conditions and factors. Sometimes the algorithm is optimized, sometimes not. So I mean there is no standard way to calculate, but overall in general tech world contributes to almost around 4% of the global emissions that are happening today, which is a huge number. And this will increase with the rise of AI for sure. The next part is like what is the hidden side that people don't really talk about or know about. So the hidden side first is that AI, like most people think of AI as like some code, or it's an algorithm we are running, we are getting data, we are creating data, answering queries and so on. It's not about that. It relies on minerals mined from earth like lithium. So I mean earth has to pay a price for more AI to work. And then there are like many low wage data labeling workers who have been working on for labeling data and assigning them to the right things. So all this machine learning AI part, I mean it relies on this data segregation and labeling aspects. And most data of this AI is actually extracted from surveillance technology. So a lot of times people don't know, I mean, where this data is coming from, but like a lot of the data is also coming from deep world and dark world, which had been protected till now by Google and all, because they only show you details and index files from surface web. But with AI, I mean, you are also getting data, or you could potentially get data with this. So I mean, checks and balances are required, and the problem with the checks and balances and governance is that it's totally undemocratic. I mean, you don't know, different companies have different countries have different laws, different companies have different policies, and ethics is a big question mark, that how this things is working. It's unsustainable ecologically, as I said. I mean, so much emissions, and even the data which is used for training, it's not neutral, it's biased, which we have already talked about in the risks and frustrations related with AI topics. So I mean, these are all the hidden sides. People don't talk much about it. The solution is critical questioning is important. Questioning that, do we need AI here, and what price are we ready to pay for using AI? Suppose AI can write a if code, but is it energy efficient to do it? And critical thinking about all these aspects is required. Even education about AI. So my this video actually aims to educate people about very 1% of what AI does and what is its effect on carbon emissions and so on. And in future, we need to look for solutions to increase transparency and the measurement data, like how are the new models performing, how much carbon emission they are doing. So all those data have to be transparent, or have to be also published along with the models, along with the new algorithms, because it's not just about algorithms, it's about nature, it's about earth. And the more we go towards this unsustainability, AI might be the next big plastic of this world. Like, everybody wants it, but after one time, I mean, you cannot keep it running, because it will like take away things. So it looks fancy, it looks nice, but it has a price to pay, a very dark side to it. And that's what I learned today in this video, and in this reading learning as part of this Ministry of Testing challenge. I'm really thankful to them that I participated in this and I got to learn about this. So that's all for day 26. See you tomorrow on day 27. Bye.